CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with more pending job cuts at Fanshawe College. That came from the school's president today during a town hall meeting, along with a message Fanshawe was becoming more stable. With more on this latest update and the timeline, here's Jerry Dewan.
Fanshawe College President Peter Devlin held the latest in a series of town hall meetings outlining the challenges facing the college and steps being taken to address a substantial deficit.
I think we're almost there. We will have a transformed Fanshawe College.
Devlin credited staff for helping shift the college into cost-cutting mode.
Your efforts to reduce expenditures, as well as the additional government support, has meant that our projected deficit of just over $50 million earlier this year has been reduced to $10.9 million.
Fanshawe entered the deficit reduction process with the target of cutting 500 full-time equivalent positions, either through retirements, voluntary exits, or layoffs.
We need one more round here to bring us to the 500, and that is about 60 positions. And we expect to achieve that, or achieve the understanding of that, by August of this year.
Administration received 345 cost-cutting recommendations from staff, including a recommendation to move convocation ceremonies from Canada Life Place back to the main campus. Devlin says they don't have the capacity to do that, but they are streamlining convocation.
We are consolidating them into 1 week a year. They will include the St. Thomas campus.
The revenue shortfall has been linked to lower enrollment, down 42% from 2024. Much of that decline resulting from the federal government's limits on international students who would pay full tuition for their education. Devlin says post-secondary institutions have lobbied for increased international admissions, but he also admits Fanshawe is below capacity for international enrollment because students have turned away from Canada.
There's been a number of IRCC-led policy changes that have caused prospective international students to have a look at other markets and say there's more stability, there's more certainty there than there is in the Canadian market right now.
Staff attending the town hall expressed their support for the college's approach when it comes to dealing with the revenue shortfall.
When I hear from my colleagues province-wide, I can identify that the information shared at Fanshawe College and the transparency around that and the advance notice outstrips what many colleges are experiencing. So I'd acknowledge that and my appreciation for that.
Devlin projects the college will see a $3.7 million surplus by the 28-29 school year. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
London police announced a human trafficking arrest today, and they say there may be more victims. They say this is Jaher Breeby Benins. According to police, the 33-year-old was arrested in Toronto last night, charged with several offenses, including human trafficking, advertising another person's sexual services, and criminal harassment. They say investigators believe there may be more victims, and they're asking them to reach out. London police say they're working with the coroner's office after someone died at London's micro-shelter community near the 401. Emergency crews were called to the facility around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Police say they don't consider the circumstances suspicious, and they have not released the person's identity. City officials say supports are being provided by the shelter's operator to assist other residents. A coroner's inquest heard from the police officer who fired the fatal shot into a Sarnia man 5 years ago during an altercation in London. With more on his version of the events, here's Nick Paparella.
A coroner's inquest heard that the police altercation and shooting death of 29-year-old Justin Barassa of Sarnia all happened in a matter of seconds in the early morning hours of October 28, 2021. Constable Joshua Ryan told the jury that they were stopping Barassa as part of a suspected break-and-enter investigation in the Richmond Row area, saying, "I would have yelled, 'Hey, stop. I just want to talk to you for a moment. If you're not involved, you can be on your way.'" The officer said Barassa matched the description of who they were looking for. "I say I'm going to handcuff you and pat you down." He starts to pull away and is trying to flee. Constable Ryan says he and his partner, Constable Ryan Hendrick, then get into an altercation with him. Mr. Barassa has his right arm around Ryan's neck in a rear naked choke. I tried to rip off Mr. Barassa a number of times. He says the situation then becomes grave. saying, "I can see that Ryan is gasping for air, his eyes glossing over. He's trying to scream, talk. I can see Mr. Barassa had him locked successfully into a rear naked choke." He says there was only one option to remove the threat. "Before he passes out or dies, I removed my firearm, found center mass, and discharged one round." He then says, "We attempted life-saving measures and CPR." A video from the area is then played, and you can hear the altercation and single gunshot. And Constable Ryan then tells the police dispatcher, "Shots fired, need an ambulance, police are okay." Before wrapping up, he told the inquest, "I had made attempts to remove him. If I had hesitated longer, I could have lost a best friend." The inquest has heard that Barassa had nothing to do with the suspected break-in. In the days after the shooting, 3 males would turn themselves into police, telling officers that they were out in the area on the night in question with tools and a ladder, stealing street signs. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
A Goderich family say they want answers from Ontario's chief coroner, waiting 9 months for a report on their son's death. With more on the tragic circumstances and the family's grief compounded by this delay, here's Scott Miller.
Josh Morse had only been bull riding for about a year and a half, but his family says he absolutely fell in love with it.
We tried to talk him out of bull riding because it's not the safest sport in the world. And he used to say that, "You know, Mom, I'll get hurt. It's just a matter of how bad."
Morse's words unfortunately came true last July when at a bull riding event in Woodstock, he was severely injured after getting tossed and ultimately kicked in the head by his bull. The 26-year-old died in hospital on August 5th. That afternoon, his family says the coroner's office called saying they'd have a coroner's report for them in less than a week's time. But that didn't happen.
My husband contacted the coroner's office on 3 separate occasions. 2 occasions got a reply back that it wasn't ready yet. 3rd time, we didn't hear anything from anybody.
After getting nowhere with the coroner's office, their local MPP, the Solicitor General's office, or the Ministry of the Attorney General, their phone rang 2 weeks ago. It was the coroner who called them on the afternoon of Josh's death. Moore says she explained that she had a medical emergency and multiple surgeries since they spoke in August, and apologized for Josh's report not getting completed earlier.
Why did nobody take the time to look and see and go, "Oh, we don't have anything," and start an investigation into where his coroner's report was?
Josh's family has the coroner's report now, his death ruled an accident, but the delay forced Mark to return to work to help cover Josh's mortgage payments in lieu of a life insurance claim that couldn't be filed until a coroner's report was completed.
I don't want to see another family in the province go through the longing, the waiting, the wondering, the lack of communication.
The office of the chief coroner had this to say about the report's delay. The preparation of these reports can be complex and may involve multiple steps to ensure accuracy and completeness. In Goderich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Woodstock police say they've carried out their largest ever cash seizure. According to police, officers executed a search warrant at a commercial property on April 24th. They say more than $1 million in cash was located, along with a loaded handgun. Police say they've now laid several charges against a 28-year-old man, part of a larger project which has seen multiple arrests and drug seizures. London firefighters say they had to extricate 2 people from their vehicle after a crash involving a tractor-trailer in the southeast end of the city. According to fire crews, road closures were imposed near Dingman Drive in Highbury. They say the 2 people removed from the vehicle have minor injuries. At this point, there's been no word on what caused the crash. Work is now underway on the next phase of the Wellington Gateway bus rapid transit project. City officials say this is the last stage of major work along the South Corridor. Along with transit construction, underground upgrades to water mains, sewers, and other utilities are taking place. The work requires lane reductions and closed sidewalks as well, which are expected to last through the rest of the summer. A city council committee has recommended a pilot project for e-scooters be extended, which could allow them on city streets, bike lanes, and pathways until 2029. With more on the committee's decision, here's Daryl Newcomb.
It's inherently unsafe. I think it borders on the irresponsible to continue with this.
Councillor Paul Van Meerbergen urged his committee colleagues not to extend London's participation in a provincial pilot project that permits e-scooters on streets, bike lanes, and pathways.
People with near misses, they're very quiet. It's almost like a Wild West out there in terms of people not knowing where they're supposed to be riding these things.
A recent municipal survey found Londoners' opinion of e-scooters is split. In London last year, there were 8 collisions reported to police, 193 injuries reported to hospitals, and 34 hospital stays. However, city staff still recommend extending the pilot project till 2029, but with an education campaign, proactive enforcement, and $100 fines for parents of underage riders. Not extending the pilot would immediately ban the devices.
There are always going to be bad actors, unfortunately, with these sorts of things, but I don't want to strip away a way for people to get around the city.
Currently, riders must be at least 16 years old. 16 and 17-year-olds must wear a helmet, and they can only travel under 24 kilometers per hour.
We may have the best impact if we go out at separate times, trying to conduct education within the spaces in which these e-scooters are most readily used.
The E in e-scooter stands for electric, but it was another word starting with the letter E that dominated the committee's discussion: equity.
Equity situation as well, creating more opportunities for people to move around our city.
I fully support the staff recommendation, but this is an equity question.
The committee voted 2-1, Van Meerbergen opposed, to recommend extending the pilot project and expand enforcement, including fines for parents.
There's some issues that we are still working to address, but ultimately for me it was an accessibility issue, an equity issue in terms of not removing that as a way for people to get around the city.
Council will make a final decision about either extending the pilot project or banning e-scooters on May 12th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
London is among hundreds of cities adopting a declaration to attract new water-centered industries while expanding maritime commerce on the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Seaway.
What we're here talking about is a number of things, including trade and the importance of trade within the Great Lakes region. These are large players, big cities, some of the largest in both the U.S. and in Canada, and we're all on the same page here. We're talking about resolutions on supporting the renegotiation of CUSMA, and not only renewing that agreement, but strengthening it and strengthening the economic partnerships between Canada and the U.S.
Mayor Josh Morgan says the partnership will benefit London's employment rate, specifically in the manufacturing and construction sectors. He says this is something London should be involved with, even though we're inland, because we rely on 2 Great Lakes for drinking water.
Having a seat at the table here means we're sitting with the largest cities in the U.S., largest cities in Canada. We're all speaking with one voice, and we're talking about how to improve the economy for people, on the streets of London, Ontario, and on the streets of all of our cities.
The Middlesex London Health Unit is launching new clinics across the county. Officials say 2 nurse-led clinics will be introduced in Dorchester and Lucan. Meanwhile, immunization and sexual health clinics will start running in Strathroy. Today's announcement follows the closure of the health unit's Strathroy office last year. More information on the clinics can be found on the health unit's website. Local hockey players raised thousands of dollars for homelessness initiatives last weekend through their Hockey Helps the Homeless tournament. The organizers say they had set a fundraising goal of $175,000, but they reported the final tally as close to $200,000. Hockey Helps the Homeless is a national campaign dating back 30 years, and the London tournament has been taking place for the last decade.
Homelessness is getting bad here in London, all over Canada, and we just want to help the cause, right? And it's nothing better than playing hockey, hanging out with the pros, and raising some money.
Local agencies benefiting from the money raised include London Cares, the Canadian Mental Health Association, and Indwell. Still ahead, patching potholes. The Southwestern Ontario company using infrared technology for a more permanent fix. Oil Oil prices sank as stock markets rallied worldwide amid rumors of a potential deal allowing tankers to deliver oil from the Persian Gulf again. In Toronto, in Toronto, the TSX climbed 415 points. In New York, the Dow added 612, the Nasdaq up 513. The Canadian dollar fell 0.05 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold gained about $125 an ounce. Oil dropped more than $7 a barrel. There are multiple media reports indicating the Japanese automaker Honda is suspending plans to build an electric vehicle plant in Ontario indefinitely. American tariffs are cited, which have created pressure on the project amid slowing demand. With more, here's Mike Lecouture.
The Honda plant in Alliston, Ontario was set to add 1,000 new jobs in a $15 billion expansion. According to a report out of Asia, Honda is shelving a plan to build an EV factory in southern Ontario. In a statement to CTV News, the carmaker said the content of the article was not released by Honda, and we have nothing to report at this time. The federal finance minister remains confident the plan isn't dead.
The word that they used was to put that on hold, so we'll see what the future is ahead.
The Conservative leader contends the Prime Minister's auto strategy is to blame for the plan not moving forward.
He claims that we're going to replace 83% of our automotive sales to the U.S. by making electric vehicles that people don't want to buy.
Mark Carney says the problem is the trade war with the U.S.
Obviously, there's challenges with the U.S. tariffs, unjustified tariffs in the auto sector. We continue to work with companies in the sector.
In February, the Japanese ambassador to Canada told CTV News expansion in this country is directly linked to the ability to export to the U.S.
Private companies, that means they have to calculate to increase profit. So CUSMA is a very important part of the calculation.
Some in the auto industry blame the Trump administration for removing EV incentives and mandates in the U.S.
This is really about the Americans hollowing out the EV market and Honda having planned to serve that huge market from here.
Flavio Volpe points out Honda isn't leaving Ontario. The company just isn't expanding. But even that isn't good news for the Canadian auto industry. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
New Stats Canada data shows more people in their 30s and 40s are living with their parents compared to their older siblings and their parents at the same age. With more on the numbers and what they mean for housing affordability, here's Abigail Beeman.
Even with a good job in the trades, Eric Rodriguez says he's struggling to afford getting back in the housing market.
There used to be a time and an age in this country where working hard and making a good wage would get you ahead and would get you a house, and you'd be able to go on all these trips on the weekends with the kids. But now it just seems that we're working harder than ever, and we're just basically keeping our head above water.
He's not surprised to hear about a new report from Statistics Canada that showed twice as many millennials live with their parents than baby boomers did when they were in the same 25 to 39 age bracket.
A broad change across the generations, and it's not explicitly down to just one factor.
Affordability is often top of mind when it comes to millennial home ownership. Statistics Canada says other factors include a cultural shift with a more diverse, younger population more likely to live with parents, and the concept of life stretching, where Canadians are spending longer on each stage of life.
They're having to go to post-secondary more. They pay more for the privilege to then land jobs that actually pay less than baby boomers earned after adjusting for inflation, to then face way higher housing prices.
How have we managed to screw things up so badly that despite all the correct ingredients in Canada, we have managed to make housing less achievable for younger people?
That expert pointing to improved building technology and lots of land per capita as reasons Canadians should be able to afford homes.
The paper was done using 2021 data as the latest data, and since then, the affordability picture has worsened.
Statistics Canada tells us they hope to provide more concrete information on affordability challenges in the housing market with future research. Meanwhile, the latest data is currently being collected with the 2026 census. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. As we head into the night, our temperatures are dropping. We have a frost advisory in effect. We're still dealing with a bit of instability right across the Great Lakes region, and that means some rainfall is in the forecast the next couple of days. I'll walk you through the next 24 to 48 and tell you when we can expect a bit of a warm up in the forecast.
Welcome back on the desk with Rita Ismail now. And Rita, we were talking off air about just how tricky it can be this time of year, transitional season, and making a forecast and one that's going to come true. So with that being said, what are we looking at right now?
Absolutely. You know what? It really is difficult, especially this week. We're dealing with a couple of upper level troughs, and that means it's hard to really tell you when we could see a passing shower. One thing for certain is our temperatures are not where they're supposed to be right now. Our high today, 10 degrees, normal this time of year, 17. So we are certainly struggling with a cooler air mass as well. The record high on this day, 1949, we hit 31 degrees, record low -4 in 1968. Now, Environment Canada did issue another frost advisory, but our temperatures won't get that cold overnight tonight. It is just sort of a caution. As we head into the night, we are going to see a bit of clearing for your Thursday morning. We had a lot more cloud cover than we anticipated today, and that's all thanks to this low pressure system that moved through and it brought some rainfall. You can see it is moving out, and behind it, the temperatures remaining cool. Now, the next 24 hours, similar to what we saw today, there could be a pop-up shower along the eastern shores of Lake Huron, and then overnight, early in the morning to the north of the 401. Very unpredictable, but we are expecting some break with some sunshine before clouds roll back in tomorrow afternoon. And with that, we could be dealing with some passing showers. There are two systems that will push through early Friday morning. They are weak, but they will bring in some passing showers. And then another weather maker just in time for Mother's Day on Sunday. We'll be dealing with rainfall late day Saturday. As you can see, a lot of instability. And again, it's all thanks to those upper level troughs, which are sticking around at least through the weekend. In terms of our temperatures, tomorrow morning we'll wake up, sunny start, 4 degrees, climbing to 13. There is that chance of a passing shower or two, but the probability on the lower end. The winds will be breezy out of the west, about 20 kilometers per hour. Heading into Friday, again, scattered showers, and then a bit of a warm up, a spike in our temperature on Saturday, 18 degrees, but it will be short-lived. We tumble right back down on Sunday. And again, Mother's Day, not a complete washout, but definitely a little bit more rainfall is being predicted for Mother's Day, and a high of 13. Now, good news is, on the back end of that, sunshine returns Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with temperatures still a few degrees below seasonal. Midwestern Ontario, 13 degrees. Overnight, we do drop down to 1. Again, a frost advisory is in effect, and I think that's to do with the colder winds out of the north-northwest. Friday, showers. Saturday, late day rainfall that will carry into Sunday for Mother's Day, but it will be nice and mild on Saturday, and then Monday through to Wednesday. Again, we're anticipating a great start to next week with more sunshine in the forecast. Carlyle?
Thank you, Rita. A Kitchener company is taking a new approach to addressing potholes, focusing on prevention instead of quick fixes. With more on the infrared technology they've developed, here's Spencer Turcotte.
Cook like a steak and cut like butter, a saying heard frequently around Kitchener's heat design equipment.
We build infrared heaters for patching roads, and that's to maintain roads and to help construct roads so they last longer.
The system uses infrared heat to rework existing asphalt instead of simply covering it up, a process that sets them apart from others.
We can reheat asphalt when it's 10 to 20 years old, and we can recycle that in place so it can allow for better repairs.
That means crews can recycle material already on the road, creating a smoother, more durable surface. It's a process that takes more time than a quick patch, but the company says it's well worth it.
We might take a little bit longer to fix that, but we'll have a much more permanent repair.
The key is catching problems early. Small cracks can quickly grow into potholes. The goal is to repair them before that happens. And with many different tools that use the same technology depending on the size of the job, they've been successful.
This is an infrared heater that gets attached to the side of the paver. So we're all familiar with the cracks that go down the center line of the road. This machine fixes it in the construction phase.
The company's tech is built in Kitchener and is already being used in projects around the world.
We shipped equipment as far as Australia, South America, UK, and into the US as well.
A local innovation that's heating up potholes and cooling down frustration for drivers everywhere. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Kitchener.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, volunteers stepping up at a Chatham-Kent animal shelter after several kittens were abandoned at their front door. As Chris Campbell reports, if it wasn't for a ready roster of fosters, there could have been a very different outcome.
A disturbing discovery outside Pet and Wildlife Rescue in Chatham-Kent.
So we had one of our volunteers let us know there was a bag in the front of the shelter that was moving. He brought it in, and sure enough, there is 8 kittens wiggling in the bag.
The kittens, just 2 weeks old, were overheated and in distress. Staff say abandoning them this way could have turned deadly.
Usually they come in a cardboard box or a carrier. This is just a little extreme to just tie a knot on a grocery bag and drop them off in front of the shelter, especially when we're open.
The rescue says this is already the busiest time of year. Caring for young kittens means feeding them every few hours, even overnight.
Every 3 hours through the night, we get up and feed them. So we can only take so many kittens, otherwise we wouldn't sleep at all.
But after posting online, the community stepped up fast.
And within 10 minutes, people are calling, and within about an hour and a half, we had fosters for each kitten.
So this is Flannel.
First-time foster volunteer Maddie McClellan is now caring for 2 of them on her family farm near Blenheim.
I've never fostered before, so this is my very first time.
She says people shouldn't be afraid to help, even without perfect preparation.
I think people think sometimes that they have to have everything and they have to be prepared, but we don't really have everything per se. We had enough to take care of them, but not everything. So I think just saying yes, even if you're not 100% sure that you're able to do it, you could probably do it. You could probably take care of kittens.
The rescue has also shared surveillance images of the person who left the kittens. CTV News obtained the footage. Staff say abandonment could lead to $365 fines, depending on the situation.
All right. Are they eating good?
They're eating very good.
But the bigger message, ask for help.
We're not judgmental. You can just bring them in. Stray cats, there's no fees for it. Just bring them in, and we can give them the appropriate care.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.